It's time now for a look at latest on local news. In the news, the weather and road conditions continue to push the first day of school in Wayne County back. Again, Wayne County school system this afternoon says now the first day of school will be set for Monday. School system says this postponement provides additional time for the city's stormwater and sewer system to recover from the recent storm. It allows county personnel to assess and repair damaged roads. Details regarding open house for pre-K through 12th grade as well as freshman orientation at the high school are still being finalized, and they state they'll share the updates of these events as soon as possible. School system says that they appreciate everyone's patience and support during this time. They state the primary concern is the safety and well-being of our community, and they state they hope everyone is safe and recovers from the storm swiftly. EMA Director Donnie Ray, again this morning, released some details of the damage from the storm. They state they have over 100 roads damaged from the storm, with around 50% of the dirt roads impassable. Still encouraging everyone to stay off the roads if possible. They have reports of up to 14 to 15 inches of rain during this storm. Again, 30-plus trees removed from the roadways thus far. One house had a tree fall on it. There are several power outages that the Satilla and Georgia Power are working on to restore throughout the day. Again, they state they could see an inch to an inch and a half of rain throughout the day. Breezy winds today. Again, Thursday heat index predicted at 102. Again, that from the Emergency Management Agency Director Donnie Ray. And Mayor Jason Witt reports that the city of Scriven received close to 10 inches of rainfall since early Wednesday morning. But once again, the top story, the start of school in Wayne County pushed now to Monday. Again, the announcement of the open house still being finalized, and we should have that for you on Thursday morning's newscast. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. The news, the Wayne County Commissioners meeting was canceled for Monday. They've reset the meeting for August 22nd. The agenda is already out. Under citizens' concerns, Kenny Fuller regarding a streetlight placed at Seminole Wood and Shrine Club Road. There's a public hearing on the agenda for closing and abandoning L.J. Anderson Road. Under new business, the EMS Director, Patrick Parson, will be on hand to consider and approve changes to the EMS policy and procedures. Also on hand to consider and approve purchase of LifePak cardiac monitors. Mitch Sutton will be on hand and consider and approve bids for the Precision Approach Path Indicator. Consider and approve closing and abandon L.J. Anderson Road on the agenda. Consider and approve bids for Ag Complex Concession Stand. Consider and approve contract with Heart of Georgia Altamont Regional Commission for DHS services with the Wayne County Transit. Consider and approve refunding the Community Development Block Grant account. Consider and approve voting delegate for ACCG Legislative Leadership Conference. Consider and approve sheriff vehicle purchase. Consider and approve resolution for election board. Consider and approve Lake Race rental agreement. And vote to set county millage rate and approve resolution to levy both county and school boards millage. Rec Director Speck was on hand to consider and approve update on pickleball courts. There's a tax assessor board appointment in District 5 on the agenda. Items with the administrator, items with the county clerk, items with the commissioners, all that taking place again. The new date is set for Thursday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. at the county commissioners meeting room. This past Saturday, former President Donald Trump campaigning in Georgia reignited his feud with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, telling the audience that Kemp's a bad guy, disloyal guy, and an average governor. Kemp hit back after Trump also attacked the governor's wife, Marty Kemp. Governor wrote, quote, "My focus is on winning this November and saving our country from Kamala Harris and the Democrats, not engaging in petty insults, attacking fellow Republicans, or dwelling on the past." Kemp said that Trump should do the same, writing, "You should do the same, Mr. President, and leave my family out of it." New blood drive set for Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium Monday, August 19th from 1 to 6 p.m. Please visit redcrossblood.org and enter Jesup to schedule an appointment. Once again, the blood drive is set for Monday, August 19th at the Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium. And this Saturday, the Wayne County Board of Tourism, the Jesup Downtown Development Authority, and the Wayne County EMA still sponsoring Touch a Truck. It's going to be from 9 to 1. Again, the event will feature heavy equipment, emergency vehicles, tow trucks, bucket trucks, along with food and information booths where kids can see them up close. The event will be centered around West Walnut Street between North Macon and Northeast Broad Streets. Streets will be closed to vehicles. First hour of the event is going to be a quiet hour for sensory-sensitive children. During this time, no sirens will be used. Visitors are encouraged to shop local businesses in the downtown area for back-to-school supplies. For vendor or booth information, contact Wayne County Board of Tourism Office 912-427-3233. For vehicle participation information, contact Donnie Ray at 912-424-0376. Again, Touch a Truck set for Saturday, August 10th from 9 to 1 in downtown Jesup. We'll be back with the final news note after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final note in news. Finally in the news, recently Wayne County voters went to the voting booth and voted to pass the recent East Bluffs referendum that stated in the referendum that is projected to raise $30 million over a 5-year period for the purpose of acquiring and constructing an ROTC facility and an ag center, the completion cost of James E. Bacon School buses and computers, but also listed in the referendum is an improvement to athletic facilities. And now the $64,000 question is, after the school system pays the millions owed to James E. Bacon and builds an ag center at ROTC facility, and the cost of those still remain in question, how much money is left over for those athletic facilities improvements? And lately the answer is becoming crystal clear: not much. At recent board meetings, a former board member stated, quote, that we've done enough for athletics, end quote. And at a recent board meeting, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kelly, says that athletics was not a focal point of those East Bluffs committee meetings in which many athletic-minded people attended, with the hopes of this recent East Bluffs raising enough funds to improve athletic facilities, specifically J.C. Stadium. School Superintendent Dr. Sean Kelly appeared on the world-famous Butch and Bob show before the East Bluffs vote was taken to inform the public about the importance of this East Bluffs and the funds that it would raise to build the Ag Center and ROTC, but made it clear on that show that there will be plenty of money left over to help with athletics. The entire show aired February 24, 2023, and you go back and listen to the entire show. But there's a portion when he was asked about money for athletics. Listen in as he explains how there will be plenty of money to improve athletic facilities in Wayne County.
And $30 million over 5 years, like I said, ROTC building and the Ag Center, just a portion of that $30 million. So people ask the question all the time, where's the rest of the money go? I mean, I tell you, school buses, technology, everything.
School buses, we do school buses, technology, we do safety enhancements. So a lot of things we do is safety, equipment. We will have the ability to look at some of our athletic facilities and do some things either, at some of the existing facilities, or look at new facilities once we get the first 2 projects underway. We'll look at that and see which way, our citizens and our board decide to go with those things. And then, there's just a lot of other things that we can do, repairs. I mean, in South Georgia, it's February and it's, 80-something degrees. And so air conditionings break down, and those things are expensive, and we're working with purifiers and a bunch of other things to work on. So, all that money allows us to do all of those things.
And I know folks in Scriven, because we've received text messages on it several times when y'all been on here, they want a covered area so they don't have to get out in the rain dropping off students and picking them up.
Yes, Principal Gibbon reminds me every time I see her about having to stand in the rain with an umbrella during car rider drop off and pick up. And so, that is certainly one of the projects that is at the top of the list for consideration. And so what SPLOS does is allows us to do those things. I'm not a general contractor. I'm just stabbing it here, but that's probably a $200,000-$300,000, at least $300,000 project, maybe a $500,000 project. Without SPLOS, those kind of things don't happen. So that is definitely something that may be a consideration moving forward.
You mentioned athletic facilities. The big story, of course, is the J.C. Stadium. You mentioned the cost to renovate, to build a new stadium. Got to ask you about that cost, because Peach County just they just did a state-of-the-art brand new football field with a synthetic turf, electric scoreboard, and a track around it, and the cost was $6.8 million. And you say $18 million. So how is it such a difference? How can they do it for $6.8 with a track around it?
Well, so I'll say this to you, Bob. I run schools. I don't build multi-million-dollar facilities. I have people who give me prices for that. Southern A&E is a very reputable firm, and so they gave us an estimation of what it might cost. And not only do we have to consider what's above ground, we have to think about what's below ground and what is there, what's not there. If your infrastructure's not there, we have to do all that. We have to look at site preparation. We have to look at the cost of materials, and so we are looking at, if we go across the street, we're looking at not only building maybe a stadium, but also prepping it for a complex. So hopefully maybe down the road, maybe baseball goes over there, softball may go over there, soccer may go over there. So we're looking at those things too. So if we say it's going to take maybe an estimated $18 million to build over there, but only takes 6 or 8, hey, we're very excited. That leaves us a lot more money to do other things. But what I don't want to do is I don't don't want to tell the board it's $6 or $8 million to do this, and then when we actually get knee deep into it, it's $15 million, and the board's like, "What are you talking about? You didn't say this." So.
Okay. There's been talk about, like I said, moving across the street for a brand new stadium. Then there's talk about renovating. Has there been any talk about just totally taking where JC Stadium is now, just totally gut it and build a brand new stadium at the current site? Have they looked at that possibility at all?
So the $9 million that we have an estimate for, when I was talking to our architects and engineers, I asked them to think about taking everything to the ground. The only thing that will stay, and it probably won't even be the grass, is to take everything to the ground. The only thing we would keep would be the 2 locker rooms at the other end over by the soccer field, but everything else from the ground up would probably be brand new. So, when we say renovate, I'm just using that loosely because it's on the same site, but it would probably be everything just totally brand new from the ground up.
I don't want to upset the soccer people, because soccer people think if you build a brand new football stadium across the street from the high school, where the JC Stadium is now, the soccer field's right there, that they could build a brand new soccer complex and use that. So I don't want to upset those, but there's a lot of possibilities what you can do with your facilities.
There's a lot of things there's a lot of possibilities, and we will be obligated to build the ROTC facility and the ag facility. Everything else after that, will be things that will be, we'll get input, we'll talk about, and ultimately the board will make decisions on what direction we go in. But, we feel very comfortable we can raise $30 million. We feel very comfortable with bond and interest payments, for $20 million with what we've been doing, over the last 2 years. And we think we have a lot of possibilities to really take our facilities to the next level.
And once again, those are the comments of the superintendent back on the Butch and Bob Show back on February 24, 2023, but forward now to August 7, 2024, and still no idea how much money it will take to build the ROTC and ag facility. Haven't really got the entire amount that was used to pay off James E. Bacon, but we know it's in the millions. So again, the question is what's left for athletic improvements and for a stadium that was built in 1953? And again, sadly, the answer is becoming clear, not much. But back before the East Bluffs vote was taken, a lot of athletic-minded people were excited about the East Bluffs vote. We're on that committee that met with the superintendent as he lobbied their support to help pass the East Bluffs vote. I wasn't on the committee, but I did attend a couple of meetings, and the quote that stands out, I've told this story before, but it needs to be repeated, and that is when it came to renovating the stadium, rebuilding a new stadium, the superintendent made it clear the decision would be solely his and the Board of Education, that the committee would have no say, but he emphasized, and I quote, "We'll have enough money that the only decision to be made will be to either renovate the stadium or build a brand new stadium across the street from the high school." Again, those are the words of Dr. Kelly back in February of 2023. But again, the entire show aired February 24th. You can go back and listen to it. But sadly, as we head into another high school football season, Yellow Jackets will play at JC Stadium that again was built in 1953 and continues to deteriorate as the days go by. Again, it's becoming obvious that of that $30 million that the East Bluffs is going to raise, not much of that $30 million is going towards athletic improvements. That'll do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan saying have a great day.